Mm-hmm.
My cat for a second.
I'm gonna Pokemon Go to the polls so hard this year.
I got a kitty. Get a kitty cat.
Activate. Authorize.
Authorize.
An error has occurred.
Oh no.
An error has occurred.
Hello, stream. I was just being my kitty. Ow. Look at his butt wiggle. Look at the butt wiggle. Ow.
Is there going to be an obstacle course?
Maybe. Right now it's just puppet testing. It's just figuring out what the
Just
puppet can
stuff?
do. Oh, I'm glad you liked the Apple Boy. Yeah. I like little things. Like, I like that it crouches a little before it jumps. Like, I'm just trying to master the idea of making an unconventional puppet.
Are we looking at the puppet right
You
now?
talking about
we are
the
looking at the puppet.
I'm just doing the pup. I'm just fucking with the puppet.
Oh, look at that kitty cat.
I love the 2D element too. That little side scroller.
Oh yeah.
Because I think,
kitty cat.
Abe, I remember you
Oh,
showing me
but
early on in Dreams that somebody had done a side scroller with like a werewolf or something.
Yeah, that werewolf game rules.
That was cool.
Alright. Now,
I should be streaming.
you streaming?
Yeah.
I guess, should we just take them through part 1 first, or?
Sure.
We have the intros and stuff, which you could also take them through.
Yeah.
Oh, like the stage itself.
Yeah,
This,
let me
this is the
restore
facility.
everything.
Yeah, we could put it all in one place. So guys, I mentioned this before, like this is the safe when you actually use the safe.
Oh, what it looks like?
Yeah, it's not actually attached to the game, it's a separate part of the game.
Huh.
And when you go through the slides, there's a jumbo version of the slides right here. That's what you're actually
Oh,
seeing.
that's cool. What a great idea.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
This looks
Really?
like madness.
it is. It's absolute madness. Everything has logic attached. That's what you're seeing. Is everything
What
has.
are you looking at right now?
I'm just
Sorry.
flying through.
Oh, yeah.
We should probably show your computer, Abe.
This is nothing. This is nothing what I'm looking at right now. This is bullshit. It doesn't even have a part of the game. This is the beginning of the game. What did you say, Dave?
I said we should probably show your computer. So when you're looking at the
Oh,
computer
okay.
screen, this is what you're actually looking at, is this block that Abe created.
Yeah.
That's
So
attached
if
to
you,
this
if you look
logic.
at mine, I'll announce that. So all right. So basically, what happens is you go. Let me close that. So you basically
Basically.
you walk up and there's a prompt and there's like it triggers this UI, right? And this basically turns on a camera and sends you to this camera, which is the menu. So it's basically
There's the camera.
it looks like that. But it's suspended in the air. Like there's the sun over there and stuff like that. I actually had to take a piece of this ice to block off the sun so it wouldn't. There's glare. Also, by the way, every time you see you die, it's just a camera that pops over here that looks at that. So it's
Yeah,
like
there's the
the
Utah
illusion of
camera.
everything. The illusion of everything is like silly, and that's how we do menus for the most part. So okay, so this is actually not even that big of. This is not the full.
There's the slides.
It's not even the full fucking. Like okay, so wait, what's this? This is spread user. Yeah, okay. So like I don't need to go through it, but just look at this madness, and these are basically just each individual like that pops up, and when these things are true. when these things are true, it plays sounds. That's what that sound is. That's a wrong sound. And it says, like, you need the red card. So that's like your root, your terminal. And then it filters through everything. This is a selector that like says like when you tell it to go into one thing, spit out this mode now. So anytime you want to like save a state or something like that, we use a lot of selectors for that. And that one is we got a blue user, a yellow user, microchip, and a red user. And so inside this, for example, this is blue, color coded as blue. And so when it gets information, it's told, go, all right, so you're now in this state. It plays a bunch of stuff, including like, you know, it says like welcome to RobotNet, and it has your options, log in different user and stuff like that. And that plays, that's just how the computer works. It's just a series of if-then statements that are all looking, and all the information is just replaced in front of this camera.
Look at all that
That's
logic.
basically what a computer is.
Fucking nuts.
Oh man.
Yeah, and there's like a bunch of other logic. Like that's the combo lock for when you enter in the combo later in part 3, where it's like, what's the code? The code right now I have is, I had it square, triangle, circle, triangle, square in an early version. And that's what ended up being triangle, or square, square, triangle, triangle, square, because we wanted to get rid of the circle because we're lazy.
Yeah.
And I
get it, man. Look at that. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
So we
looks-
just made it
How would
two
you
options.
ever even do this?
I'll show a simpler version. All right. I'm gonna
that's
show
that's
the
a more complex version. So that's just the computer.
Yeah, the chalk, for example. I think it's the simplest machine we have. Is it?
Thank you, Doubles.
Where's the damn chalk?
I remember feeling so accomplished that I made a switch that you could go to turn it on and a light would turn on. I was just like, I am God.
Yeah. Dave? What do you want him to look
I
at?
was gonna show just the simple things like the chalk or the slides, like or
Yeah.
not the slides. The All right. This is the logic for just scratching off the chalk here,
Yeah.
which is surprisingly difficult. Is that first you have the idea that when you go near it, it
Madness.
displays a triangle. That's that. When you click
Yeah.
triangle, it opens this larger logic and a camera going in. And so it'll turn on this chip, and that'll create the selection process. So all this is doing is that,
Jesus, look at that.
I know, it looks more complicated than it is.
Oops.
This is telling
I
you
don't
that
think it does.
this is telling you which button to use, and the button
Yeah.
corresponds with these selectors, that it selects certain stages in these selectors. Each stage opens up a specific keyframe, and you can see when I select the keyframe,
Okay.
that is a shit. Oh, I have to go down. That's a highlighted number. You see that? So it means that's how you're selecting the number.
And keyframes are like generally
Yeah.
what keyframes are,
It's
which
animation.
are just change something and animate, change the. You can change tone, just change anything. It's a recording of I'm changing an aspect in the options of a thing. So if it was a painting, you could change its color. You can make a light brighter. You can make a puppet run. It's
Right.
just the idea that something's now happening.
This selector then is getting all that information of which keyframe up here is open in one of these. See, this is labeled 456. That's labeled 1, 2, 3 because those are the specific keyframes related to those numbers in there. This keeps track of them, and so once that's selected, you hit X. And what X does is it goes into this one.
Goddamn
That,
nonsense is what it is.
Yeah, it starts this nonsense. Which these are ands, so it's saying, okay, have you hit X and you've selected a specific number,
Man.
Yes.
then
Yeah.
you activate this keyframe, and this keyframe would be that number with an X over it. So that's
Yeah.
the process for Xing out specific things. It's really like, again, the game, it gives you nothing. Nothing that it lets you just
Make no
easily do.
assumptions.
Yeah.
You-
Oh man. I know what's happening. That's so weird. Sometimes I just get booted out of their party. Yeah. Alright, so I'm still streaming. What'd I miss? Did I miss anything?
Gosh.
Is Abe here? Ah!
Now wants that thing now wants you to be like, it's looking for like, well, I thought the object was over there. It's like, no, man, I changed it down the line. And so you have to kind of think of it as a thread that you pull,
Okay.
as
What do you-
opposed to just like globally just changes. This changes. Explaining why when we're playing the timeline of the bad robot, the head is off.
Okay.
Like
The head
when
is
you
off?
Watch the head's off. Yeah, it looks broken versus when you do the game. It looks
Oh,
fine.
because you have to put it in the right
Explaining.
place.
You have
Right,
to-
because he's standing there at that
it's
point. That's where his head's
the-
going to end up being.
It's the order of operations. Like, so in other words, because in the game you have the benefit of now it has moved to this point, now it's moved to this point. It's now given, it has new data to change. That's just, the only reason I bring it up that example is because to show you how stupid this game is, and how almost always, anytime we run into a problem, it's hilarious because we go like, this fucking dreams, fuck dreams, and we'll like get in that loop, and then 2 minutes later we'll be like, human error.
Right,
You know,
it's
like,
always something.
Yep.
it's always human error. I mean, there has been legitimately one or two bugs, but for a game that is literally design sweet, I've been profoundly like, wow, this thing
Yeah.
is the amount of bugs in this thing I can count on like one hand.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
you
bad.
guys, it was a very smooth experience.
Yeah, it's just we could be better at it. Is the lesson.
Hey, you
But
were
anyway.
jokers, you know?
Anyway,
The,
Dave, you want to keep going?
Sure.
That was awesome.
The combo lock, for example,
Did they
like
say
I designed a really complicated version of this, and then it got turned into a simple version.
I don't hear him.
You can't hear me?
Ooh.
I might
can-
actually bounce off because I've got to download some
Can-
work stuff for tomorrow.
can
and
other
I'm gonna
people
turn on
hear
the
me?
air conditioning in my room.
I can hear you, Dave.
Brendan can't?
Brendan, I
Oh,
can't hear
okay.
you. I don't think.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, so maybe it's just me.
All right, we're having.
No, I mean I can't hear Dave either. So
No one
can't
can hear
hear
Dave. I
Alright.
can hear Dave, but
what the
no
hell?
one else can.
Alright.
I don't know.
I'm gonna leave and come back. Hold on, chat. I know you can hear me. It's a problem with the goddamn PlayStation. We've been having these problems constantly. Joining party. It's my own party too. All right, can people hear me?
There you go. I hear you now.
All right, good. Brendan left.
Yeah.
Abe probably can't hear me now.
He
Tom,
was just saying that he probably can't.
I can hear you.
okay, Tom can hear me.
We're doing
Abe will
good.
hear me. There you go. I
There
hear
you go.
Abe.
All right. So the idea behind this is that we had to build under a cap of memory, and so the reason this is at 88 and not 100 is that we realized halfway through making our game that we were gonna hit our cap, and we didn't want to do something like make the walls look shittier, so we decided to break up the game in a silly way, and
Yeah.
that's how we resolved it because it was done out of necessity. And then after I deleted like 12% of, like, basically I just deleted Brimley's, or we deleted Brimley's
Yeah,
room.
Brimley's room isn't in
So
this
you're not
model.
even seeing the most complex version of this yet,
Yeah.
because we kind of just made sure, all right, let's just finish this first one, let's finish this second one, and we cut it up in parts.
Yeah. So, like, I guess the safe is the thing that gets deleted. Is the size cap
Yeah.
why most of the dialogue isn't voiced? No, because that's sound related. We're just lazy.
Yes, audio is not. that
Audio is our
bad.
lowest here,
It's-
if you see in the bottom left. Its graphics
Yeah.
is the highest. The safe, it's just programming the right combination, which is we have these grabbers, and they sense when you're either hovering over these or grabbing them. And so when you've grabbed them, they send a signal here for the 347 And it's hard to even explain, Abe. This is you taught me this. It's
What?
basically a loop where this AND gate is determining have you grabbed 3, and you have. It brings to the next stage in the selector, which asks
Oh yeah.
have you grabbed 3 and are now grabbing 4, and if it's a yes, it sends it to the next one. And the next
Yeah,
one says have you
It's
grabbed
basically
3, 4, and then 7, and then that
Yeah,
you
that
pass
sounds like
it.
an absolute nightmare.
well, it's
Yep.
actually cool because I
It's
think it's cool
awesome.
because it's exactly like a key works. When you think of a key, you push a key inside a door that's looking for a very particular series of heights and shapes of metal, right? So that each key is unique. So if our key is basically like 3, 4, 7, right? All this selector is doing is saying, all right, the first thing did you enter? Is it a 3? Yes. All right, move on. You're nailing it. You're
Yep.
fucking nailing the thing.
And then these
Is
selectors
it not
move
a 3?
down.
You don't even get to walk down that path. The key is not allowed to go into the lock. So it has to be a 3, it has to be a 4, and it's a 7. Only then do you get like a green light, a sound that makes it seem like you won the puzzle, a timeline that opens a door and enables some other chips like the sandwich and the key card to be there. But if you do anything else, if you type a 6 in there, it immediately says you're a fucking idiot, and
Yeah.
you're not gonna get in. You
I'm
are
actually-
not gonna win. So
I'm
it's
gonna-
very easy.
I'm gonna go into the safe, the standalone safe, to actually show it because we
Oh,
can't show
to
it out of
see the previous version that was before. It
Well,
was
no,
simplified?
just to show it moving because we can't. It's hard to explain unless.
Oh, do game test mode. Yeah, that's
Yeah. Because a lot of these you can't test in the game. So over here's the wrong, and that counts how many times you hit the wrong button. So if I put in 5, the selector goes down because it's the wrong one. Nothing happened up here. You do that again. You do that again. It activates the buzzer and it indicates it's wrong. If I write in 3, 4, 7, 3, see it recognize the correct one. 4 gets us to the next one. 7, you've passed, and the safe opens. With a blue light. So yeah, that's watching it in motion. Is there anything in part 1 we should show off, or should
No,
we
I was just gonna show off music.
Oh yeah, that's
Because
a lot-
we don't
yeah,
need to
well-
go through every musical piece. I was just trying to show. Here are the things that Dreams does as
Yeah,
like
yeah,
an
yeah,
ad
yeah.
for Dreams, I guess, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
like, yeah, this
So-
is
We're showing off. We're showing
Yeah,
off everything Dreams is capable of.
so this timeline, basically, what this is in Dreams you enter like a null space where you can like you can start like building shit, right? You can be like, okay, so I'm gonna start to build like a road or something, or I'm gonna make some sculpts or whatever. I don't give a shit about that. Here I decided just to make a timeline because I wanted to make some music, and the music you're listening to right now is like the one that you would get when you play the nanobots, right? When you play the green game. And so you can kind of infer what's happening here. Like I have an 8-bit sound effect. I have a lead. See, you can see the notes being hit. And those are all entered by me. And those are the bum ba dum ba dum bum. That's the bass line. And then there's the synth pad that's making like the swirly background sound. And that's like a drum hit that I added. That's like an 8-bit drum bit. But like basically it works exactly like if you ever watch or do real music creation or computer music, like you get like there's like Reason or Ableton or Logic or Pro Tools even. They usually have like custom digital interfaces in order to create music and synthesizers as well. That's essentially what this is. So I basically just made a sound. And the way in which I actually got the sound is stop that. The way I get the sound is you can actually find it off the Dreamverse. Like the Dreamverse is their name for like the buckets that we all can kind of contribute to, so people can share it together, and it's like a communal space of like of basically asset generation. And so this primal lead was, I don't know, I was probably searching around, like for like a lead, like a synth, and people have different sounding leads, and I just picked one. And most of them are generated by Media Molecule, the creator of this company, and then you can alter them later. Like they make it very easy through like these interfaces that you can adjust things. Like you can adjust this is for people who don't know, ADSR is attack. What is it? Attack, decay, sustain, and release, meaning how fast the sound happens, like a note on a keyboard or a note on a piano versus is like a very quick attack, versus something that's like a slow, like violin note that like slowly gets louder. That would be a slow attack and stuff like that. So these are all just like, I don't need to get into it, but this is basically all the tools that are used by professionals, more or less. They're mimicking those. These look exactly like these things. They just gamified it, and yeah, they put it in their engine, which is not as powerful as other engines, which are like PCs and stuff, but it's actually pretty good. And that's how like you kind of make music. You can draw on this keyboard and make your notes, or you can just play through Dreams. So you can like record and see, I'm hitting C, it doesn't sound good. See how that sounds terrible? That's because I chose to play it terribly, but you get the point. That's how music works.
I have the AI open. So the way this works is you have to you interact with Brimley. In here, there's the riddle sequence. You can see all the cameras for the cutscenes. Once that happens, it triggers him running. This timeline is him running, and that triggers all sorts of other keyframes that turn certain things on. Makes his eyes red, makes his AI turn on, takes away the hammer, and turns on the option of the objects. And so then, that's when you have to grab the objects. The mints, the recorder, or the razor. Those are all detected up here. You can see it's off right now because it's not on. Or because, yeah, it hasn't been turned on by Brimley. So this basically is just the grabbing system. And it sends a signal saying which object you've grabbed. And that goes into, this piece of logic that determines, are you near Brimley? Have you picked up the recorder or the phone? And then it'll play the cutscene where he attacks you, which
Jesus
is one
Christ,
of those.
I'm never going to be able to do anything like this.
Otherwise, it'll play the cutscene where he kills you, which is that one. And so once that happens, it turns on his AI. And his AI is right here. And this is the problem. This is the problem area. So the AI detects certain things. It detects if he's around you. There's stages to his AI. If you see stage 0, stage 1, stage 2. And these are determined by which message you're playing, combined with which trigger zones he's walked through. And if you look on this map, these chips here are labeled corner 1. That's stage 1. Corner 2. These are all points in which Brimley will run to at certain points in the game. These are doubled up. And then finally there's one that sends him into the jail. He also has knowledge of, if you look over here, there's the map, which... Oh, this is an old version, so it doesn't look as updated. That's interesting.
Are you in 2 right now?
Yeah, I think I'm in the one that isn't in the updated Dream. It doesn't matter because this is here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the old AI that I had to fix. So these are trigger zones, and you basically wrap them around an area. So that one is... Oh, that's interesting. Hold on. Alright, there we go. See the big green box? That is that zone. So that's Brimley knowing if he's in that zone. And what that does is, depending on where you scare him, he'll say, "Where am I? Did you scare me?" Then I have to run to this sequence of events, and that ensures that his AI doesn't get caught in the environment. But these are basically wireless receivers that see if he's done certain things. So for when you first encounter him, all you have to do is play Mom, which is the recorder. And if you do that, and if it plays full through, well, while you're doing that, this behavior is happening. For example, this is this means he'll attack you. This means he'll run away if you're playing it, or he'll stop attacking you. And then once that's finished, it'll open stage 1 with its own set of rules. This is again, he'll attack you, he'll run away, but if you're playing this time the wife and not the mother. And if that goes through, there's also flee logic, and that's what tells him where to go once he's startled by you. The bug was the fact that he didn't know what to do if he got past certain points. And that was added in a different version, it's not in this. So that's basically the AI. Also, fun fact is we switch him out. You can see there's an invisible Brimley here. He's always there. He's never not there. But when the first Brimley runs and that cutscene plays, it actually teleports the original Brimley over here, which is just a random spot outside of the game that he just hangs out at, and the other one takes over because they have two different sets of AI.
Yeah, this is madness, and I'm never going to be able to do it.
But you can like maybe like make a teacup or something. Like
yeah.
Like this is just it all coming together after 2 months of work. Anybody can make a box, and that's a contribution to it. That's the cool part of this to me, is that it like really is like a like, oh, you're a musician. Do you only want to play music? Yeah, I don't give a fuck about other stuff. I've seen people who are like, I only do music, and I've seen them on multiple games because they're good at music. And like Dreams people are like, you're really good at music. Can you do music for my game? And like it's actually building basically studios from the ground up. I've seen it. There's some really cool stuff happening. They're not all great, but they're not all bad either.
Yeah, there's tons of... Yeah. Also, once you learn it, like, I don't know, once you start, when you start small and branch out,
I want to show the Riddle Madness.
Oh yeah, I have that open right now, actually.
Okay, yeah. So this is, this is one of my favorite parts of the game because it's like stylistically kind of cool. Because you have to select the words themselves on a wall. So we had a fundamental question, which is how do you have a selection for, like, we're not going to have you type it in, because that's going to be nonsense, because then we're going to have to check all the various, typing of, like, does it be capitalized, does it, like, doing the check for all that stuff seemed boring to us. So what we wanted to do is something that was very tactile, where you could just kind of grab a word and say that's the word I want to choose. So we had this idea of doing like a 7 like wall thing. And the way in which that's done is hideous. So
really
it's and I hand did this. It was kind of like, I think it was Dave's system that he developed, but then it occurred to me because we were like trying to use the same idea as the safe with the hand, like the hovering and stuff like that, and it was just not behaving. And I was like, dude, all you need to do is trigger zones can look for the imp, and the imp is a name for like the cursor, your player's cursor. So all we have to do is show the imp again, and then and if they hover over the trigger zone, then boom, make that a thing that if you press a button and do that, it's now you adjust a variable or whatever. So we have 2 walls, and these are all the words on the walls, and what they are is they're little trigger zones. Can I select all of them?
I bet there's a way. How do you select all?
Double click. So, oh shit, it doesn't seem to work. Is it because
it worked.
It worked?
It worked for me, but
I'm not
I can't see them all. They all light up if you double click.
Oh, they all light up. Oh, yeah, that's it. So you see, they all light up. It's not the trigger zones themselves, which is unfortunate. Because just imagine.
You can select
let me
one trigger zone.
Let me just open up a bunch right now, and they'll get the idea. Like if I just open up these 5, then you'll see they're tiny little boxes. You see that? They're tiny little boxes that your thing can hover over. And the second that your imp hovers over it, it activates, and it doesn't activate elsewhere. That's how it's done. That's literally, we just drew boxes around the words and said, is your imp hovering over it? If it is, and you press R2, you did it. You either got a fail or a pass.
And the right riddle is, we highlighted it in each one.
Yeah, I color-coded them just because
it's easier.
It's hard to look at something, and so there's seed and sandwich and dreams. And that's it.
Yeah, it opens up
That's
various...
how that mechanism works.
Yeah. Yeah, you see down here again a selector, so every time you get it right, it opens one of these new riddle sequences.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you get to each one.
Mm-hmm.
And here's
this
if
is
you get
like
them wrong.
older versions of how we're gonna do. This is other. Like I was designing a different look for something, and I just ended up going with like I think the simple one. Oh no, I ended up going with this look. The look with the little red box that
answers.
Like the riddles appear in. Whatever.
Yep.
And that's one riddle. That's just sandwich.
Yeah, that's what's fucking... luckily you can copy them each time.
Yeah, so it sounds like, oh, you're saying that's only 1/3 of it? Yeah, it is, but I also I changed one wire and I duplicated, like, this chip. Putting stuff in chips is nice, because then you can just say, there's another one right there. I just made it, and I just deleted it. So yeah, that's what that is.
I'm gonna show the stupidest thing. I'm gonna show the stupid slides.
Oh my god.
This is a computer I made before I knew how to make computers, so it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, you gotta learn.
Yeah. So the idea is you have to take out a slide and then you put it in the other thing. So there's 2 processes there. Oh, good god, this thing is fucking awful. This is... So you select with the D-pad, and that brings you through this selector, which, if you look at these keyframes, signifies when one of them is popped up. C7 is popped up. And basically, after that, once you've selected that and pressed X, then it creates a new keyframe. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I just also want to point out that one of my favorite aspects of working with Dave is that sometimes he names his variables things like poo.
Yeah.
So someone like me trying to fix his machine or help in any way, I'm like, I can't. I don't know what this variable. What is this point of this variable?
So 7 is gone because you've selected it, and once you select it, there's these things called modifiers, variable modifiers, and this sends a specific signal. So, for example, with A7, it sends a number to a variable. And what that means is that it goes over here where the actual slide input is. This is the fucking slide input. And it changes a number over here. So there's 7S. It would change that. And that tells this computer something. It tells it that when you walk up to it and you go to put in a slide, it then knows to play the correct slide. And that is... These are not involved. That's a different thing. And that is in here. Each of these keyframes is fun because if you look up here, you actually see all the slides because they always have to physically exist. So when then you select that slide, in this case 7, that slide has vanished up there because it's actually just physically moved down into place here. These are text boxes that are colored to look like race, and those come in. The colors are different depending on the slide. So you have
That
to.
no one's gonna know what the text box ray thing is. It's a
Yeah.
hack that people learned early on in this game.
See, there
that
they
if
are.
You
On
can make it look like god rays, or you can make stuff
Yeah.
look like rays of light, shafts of light, by using a text display-er's border and turning it really, really like the
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
opacity down
and
Yeah.
then
and blurring it and stuff. So
we also have this, which is a whole other monster that if you want to explain, Abe. But
what?
ultimately, the recall. Ultimately,
the
see,
recall.
if the hammer slides in, it all comes to this node that sends out the signal. If anything else, comes to this one. And so when it's time, we
I'll
have
do
the
the
Mach
sim.
2 controls, and it asks it, when you set it into kill mode, there's two versions, there's two timelines, there's two outcomes, and it depends on that wire. Did you do the right one, or did you do the wrong
Right.
one? You're either going to die or you're not.
I'll make it simple. So the idea for the recall is that saves doesn't have like a saving system, right? It doesn't have a thing where it's like I'm gonna save my work, like and then at a save point or something. They're actually gonna do something like that, but it sounds like that's a ways away.
Yeah.
So when you want to save, for example, if it's like, let's say you enter a scene and you eat a sandwich, and then you want to go do a bunch of other stuff, but then you want the sandwich to be gone later when it's like a new scene, like they go off to the nanobots platform and they come back. So the way that this works is that the simple one would be just the robot up. So there's a variable that we made just called robot up, and basically it's a binary, it's a Boolean thing, it's a binary, it's up or it's not. We didn't need to make it a variable, we could have made it a whole bunch of different stuff, but we chose just to do if they're up. So in other words, if this variable is 1, do this stuff. And what this stuff is, it stands up the robot. So every time we enter a new scene, it checks to see what the variables are, and then just makes the keyframes right, makes things stand, turns things off.
Right.
Same thing with the sandwiches. Did you eat sandwich 2? Well then, fucking get rid of that sandwich.
Yeah, that's
And
the
also,
that's the part that's stressful, is that every dream is its own entity. So you have to do a special, like, persistent variables that stay the same throughout the dream, that you can then remember what the player did in the last one. So, like, these are all representing, if they had put in a slide and then, say, did the nanobot game and came out of it, this is to ensure that that slide is still on. Because it's technically an entirely new environment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening on my stream to Dave's voiceover that I cut up. That he sent me an MP3 by emailing me. I took it into Adobe Audition and I cut it down because here's the problem: you can't record more than 15 seconds in Dreams of your own, like, I don't know, microphone or whatnot.
Right.
And the reason is because people were using it to steal. People were just recording like their favorite song or whatever, and they had no copyright to it. So the temporary thing is to make it 15 seconds. So I had to cut up Dave's takes into 15 seconds. So this is the sound of him. I decided this sounded like him running. And all he's doing is going, oh, oh, oh. Now, we used one of those takes. I don't know which one.
Oh, who can say?
But that's these are the sounds that Dave made. This is Groans 2.
Oh.
And it's just Dave. I got to listen to Dave.
So I don't know. Yeah, that's Dreams.
It's Dreams.
That's Dreams. What are other?
I don't know whether, because the logic is like it's all
It's just
gibberish.
cool to look at.
It's fun as hell to look at with the combined timelines. If people were wondering, these are all the timelines of just the events, the cutscenes. But yeah, we've been doing this for 2 months because there's a quarantine.
Yeah, we just put in a few hours a day. Sometimes less, sometimes more.
Making a dream.
Usually I would do. What's cool is that also your own, like, you have your own unique like workspace, like everybody does. So because of that, you have all your save files and stuff. Like, I decided to take the role of the person who like assembles everything together and become the owner of the dream,
Right.
aka game. But basically, at any time, any of us, like when we weren't like chatting on PS4, I would be recording podcasts by like listening to the podcasts. Like, I'd set up all the levels and stuff, and I'd just listen to the podcast. So I'd have to listen for an hour and a half, something, listening to see if anything should cut up. And at the same time, I'd be like, I need to make snow, so
Right.
let's make snow. And then I made snow. You know.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many things now. Looking at it, I lost you, Abe.
You lost me?
No, you're back. No, I'm just looking at like when Brimley hits you. See, there's a text display that makes red over that signifies you've been hurt. There's attack sounds, him hissing when he's near you, and then there's the sound of him actually hitting you right here. And all that comes into
Son
these
of a
trigger
bird.
zones, and all the trigger zones are saying is all right. If how close is he? This trigger zone is a small proximity around. You can see again the outline of where Brimley, the puppet that it's attached to, this ghost. So if he gets within this proximity to you, that sound is gonna play. You're gonna be hurt. That red is gonna go, and it'll slowly tick down this counter. And this counter, all it does is count to 10. So every time he hits you, this counter goes up 1, and then if it is full, it goes into your puppet and tells you you're dead. So again, there's nothing is given to you. You just have to figure out how to make the character die. There's a little thing in here in your logic that says right here,
Yeah.
this wire
and
goes
once
to
again,
die. And so that's how you make you die, is you have to just like give it rules, some sort of counter that says, okay, if this happens this many times,
we're so
die.
bad at this. Oh,
We
and
could have used the health. We could have used the health manager. Notice we didn't even use it ever.
Yeah, we're terrible at this.
Sure.
So we just wanted to figure out how to do stuff, so we just like attacked the problem. Like, we didn't watch that many videos. I know that there's
No,
videos. Yeah, Dave's even more religious about it than I am. He refuses to watch. I was like, I saw this guy. This guy made like a car, dude. It's cool. I was like watching. I was like, that's a really smart way to make a car. And he's like, we're thinking about making a crazy taxi game next.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm gonna make a car myself. And I'm like, that's fair. That is fair. Yeah. Look at all these wires. I wish we
love
knew
the
that
wires.
wire. I wish that we knew that wire. Like, once we started doing the AI, we realized that wireless transmitters and shit were a thing.
Yeah,
So
but they're not
we're
that
just like,
useful.
oh fuck. No, they are useful. What do you
They're
mean?
not that
I mean, it's
useful.
clean. They're not useful. They're clean.
Yes,
Then you don't
but
get this nonsense that
I
where it
don't-
looks
I
like
like-
a fucking violin.
see, I
like
like
what are you
the
doing?
wires.
Playing an orchestra over here? Get
I
out
like
of
the
here.
wires because I can see where everything's going,
Get out of here.
and I can keep track of it all.
I hate it. I want it all clean.
Yeah.
But you know, necessity.
Mhm.
It's out of necessity. I'm also bad at naming. We got a lot better at naming stuff too, because when we started this project, most of our microchips were just called microchips, and then we had
Yeah, and then we realized
Right.
you have to keep track
we're
of
like,
everything.
oh, we're not good at this. We're filmmakers. We're not.
Good night, Carrie.
We're not fucking game creators. But now I guess we now are. So that's really
Sure.
cool.
Sure.
Good job, Dreams. I like the cut of your jib, Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we want to do? I don't know.
I don't know. There's nothing. We didn't show the
I showed
sculpting
him-
or anything, but
showed
that's
him making
doesn't
music. It's sculpting. It is what you imagine.
matter. Yeah, you have to sculpt all these.
It's good if you are if you spend a lot of time. And it's not good if you do like I did just here and didn't spend a lot of time. Or my favorite part is you just go to the Dreamverse and you just take it, and then it looks like
I don't
you
like
did a good
taking
job.
it.
I love it.
Here's the alien. I made this alien. I think the alien's my favorite thing
Oh, the alien's fucking top
that I
notch,
made.
dude.
I like my alien.
Got my eyes on you. I think my favorite.
This little guy.
What's the?
Oh, that's cool. The you don't quite get the whole effect in the cutscene.
Oh yeah.
It's like they're walking
yeah,
around.
Yeah,
Just
I
sort
made
of
him real
shape of it.
slow. Yeah. Oh, I didn't
He's
wanna
all
play that.
floppy. His head's all
Yeah,
fucked up.
yeah. That's great.
So this is the nanobots.
Oh yeah, you gotta show the nanobots. I'm
I
gonna go in
basically
there,
became
too.
a termite. I basically just was like, I'm gonna be a termite and sculpt an enormous thing. This is such a stupid game. Like I thought it was just gonna be a tiny little thing, and I just kept adding. I just kept adding stuff to it, and so the game, like the look is affected. Like there's grades and effects, like gadget, which is another word for thing that does things to other things. And the grade and that allows for like contrast or brightness or hue changes that affect things on like kind of global level. So I made this kind of posturized look, and then I made these little spirit thingies that are flying everywhere. And then I went and made a background that is just like, well, what if I just clone a bunch of floating, like triangles and squares and stuff. And then I made a big thing of marble and I cut a hole into it, and then I made it absolutely insufferable to have to play this part of the game. So that's basically it. There's not a lot. You can see that the programming of the DDR game is not that hard. It's basically just checking on a line. It's just checking on a line. Hey, when things cross and you press a button at the same time, did you do it while it's in this trigger zone, while it's literally in this space, and all the buttons are flying at you from left to right? Did you do it? Oh, you did? Great, you get points. Oh, you didn't do it? You don't get points. So it's easy as that. And these are something called emitters that emit these balls. And they go in a direction. And that's how you play DDR in Dreams. And it's a really bad version. Like, it's really bad. But I did it in like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
These are all the talks. This is how you talk to people and tell them that they suck. And yeah.
Stairs.
The stairs is goddamn
Stairs is a
hideous.
real nightmare. Yeah.
I mean, like, look at me just cutting away at this. At what point did I say, like, as you guys all have seen several people play this game, like, I should have cut it off here, right? Like, that should have been the end of the game. No, I kept going. I kept saying, you gotta keep climbing the stairs. For the, because that was everyone's, if I recall, Tom, Cody, that was your favorite part of our game, was when you had to climb, like,
That it kept going.
1,000 meters of stairs for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Also in this game,
Gotta get that double jump. You gotta look in.
yeah, you gotta look in, dude. You gotta look in. What else? I think that's it. I mean,
Pretty much. There's
I'm not
just
gonna
like
bore people
puppets
with
and
that
shit.
specific. People have
Oh,
questions.
one last thing I want to show. This is all you, Abe. Is the spaceship. One of the simplest, quickest shots. I think is the coolest thing in the whole game. Is that the alien has to look in a monitor at what's happening in the cave, and that's done because there's no screens, so there's just a hole here in
I just made a
the
hole.
actual thing, and down
And then I put
here
another level.
is just the model of what's going on at that split second.
Yeah.
part where the alien's looking in the cage. It's just
It's
an
all
entire
fucking smoke and
3D
mirrors,
model.
baby.
Yeah.
It's even tilted, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
even like it's tilted so that they're unnatural from this angle, but it's what looks good for camera.
Yep. So when you go into this
They
camera here,
look up and down on camera
It looks
because
like
I
a
tilted
monitor.
it that way. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I did that.
yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's dumb, but it works. So
Works.
is it?
No, we're geniuses.
Yeah, we're definitely geniuses.
Fucking yeah.
That must be it. That must be the
Geniuses.
answer. How did I do the chase scene? Oops, I didn't want to play that. That's just a. This is the worst gadget. This record possession thing is. Like I don't know. Maybe it's like we say all the time, like human error. So it's probably just me. But it just seems like it's fundamentally broken. Basically, what it is like I recorded myself running around this level into the ice and stuff, and then the scene ends. And then these robots are invisible, but then they appear when I tell them to turn on. You can kind of see them. They're semi-transparent because they're off right now. But if I were to take away preview and visibility, they would appear solid. And they run after you because they have a follower. They're being kind of like Brimley. They're being told, go to this person. And they do it at the speed that I set, and that's how the chase scene was accomplished. Very simple. There any other scene? No. Nah, I'm done.
What's that?
I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I'm just dicking through the puppets right now just to show what they look like individually.
I could show how they do dreams. Like, literally how they do dreams. So,
What does that mean?
these are all scenes. Like, Dave made the opening. That's the thing. It says, like, Alex Garland presents. That's a scene. Scenes are what they sound like. And a dream is just a series of scenes connected, basically. And so, our game, is... How many is that? 9 scenes.
Oh
Start
yeah,
with the title credits, and then you go to a chase scene, and then you play what we call Facility Part 1, which just takes you up to the nanobots, or the repair bots. The repair bots take you to Part 2, which is like you have, you did it. You did it now, and this is where all the riddle stuff happens. And then the AI is the Part 3 all the way to the end, and then the ice cave is the one where you meet with the other guy, and spaceship interior, and then don't forget to vote, guys. Don't forget to vote.
Don't forget to vote.
And so that's how you make a dream. It's just like it's like a map, like a connection map, but all the actual work is done in these little modules here, these fancy little things. That's it. Hooey. What a stupid thing to do during quarantine. I mean, I had a blast.
Yeah.
We're gonna make another one. We're gonna force our friends to play it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who are much more, who have much more useful things to do with their time.
Do we?
Well, I mean, yeah. You do God's work normally. Oh.
Yeah, Tom is champ, so.
Tom is winner. Yeah, Tom is winner. In terms of the speed challenge of how long it took you to complete our game. Everyone was clocking in around an hour and 50 to like 2 hours to complete the game.
Yeah.
And Tom was 135, I think we agreed
Yeah,
on.
something like that.
Plus or minus a minute. Yeah. So reigning champ Tom.
It's funny looking at the puppets because you can see the evolution within the puppets of sculpting. I just noticed. Because the snowmen were the first things created, and they're such pieces of shit.
Oh, this is a thing that Swaim did for one of the jams. For the, like look around like a little goblin. I lit it. He sculpted it. Swaim plays this stuff. I love that when Swaim was playing, he was like, "Oh, well, how did you create this though? Like, so is this a selector?" Like, was one of the first things he said. Like, what's wires? And I was like, "Ah, man," because you play a Little Dreams, so you have to immediately like talk about what it, how it like works under the hood.
Right. Oh yeah, that's the fun part, you know.
Let's see.
Oh, I forgot there's a little bit of logic in this. Not really. There's a timeline.
Oh, just a
that does
timeline.
yeah.
Mm.
And then, yeah, a little fog. A little fog.
Oh, I just leveled up.
Nice.
Why? Just I was looking at stuff. Wasn't even doing any work. All right, enough of you. Why am I such a high level? That's stupid.
Because you've been playing the game a lot.
I guess.
You're an epic gamer, man.
I mean, you know, guys, I just want to say, on behalf of Epic Gamers everywhere, keep gaming, guys.
Keep gaming.
Keep
yeah,
gaming.
there's
Get out there and
Brimley's face.
game harder. What's my level? I'm 93.
I vote for gaming.
Fun thing about
Yeah.
Brimley, he has no eyes.
What do I want to... All the music is... I didn't steal the music, though. Oh, except the last one. The last one, we were like, we found a perfect song on the Dreamverse.
Oh yeah, what
for
is
the
my
dance.
level?
You're
What
like
level are you, Abe?
70? I'm like 93.
I am 72.
Oops. I didn't mean to do that. I accidentally remixed the scene. Ooh. Yeah, what level are you? 72.
72.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are
Makes
curious. There's logic for me.
And that's pretty consistent. Like you've been 20, you've been about 20 away from me the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
that checks out.
That checks out. I mean, Dreams did a good, you know, leveling up. We spent about the same amount of time.
This is fun.
I love it though.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna. Oh man. I'm gonna get this cat perfect.
Yeah. He's building a cat from scratch, and I'm like, I don't even know how to do puppets, man.
It's not. It's not.
There was a
hard, it's
guy
just like
in
doing a
your
level.
chat, if they're still there, there's a guy in chat who fucking rules at puppets.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's a Dreams guy.
He was in my chat. Well, if you're still
Yeah,
watching, I could use some tips.
Yeah, give him some tips if you're still watching.
Cause this kitty
Piece of
cat.
craft, I think.
I mean, I
Piece of craft.
do like to. I do like to try.
That guy does streams about animating shit. And,
Yeah.
like I was watching like 10 minutes of it, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. He's too good. He's just like casually doing stuff like we do Logic. And, and I was just like, there's no way in hell I could ever do that.
Right.
Of course, you know, put in time, but like the thing that you're doing, Dave, is like terrifies me. Because
Well, it's
it would
just like
break
it's-
and
You just have to figure out the rules. That's all. You just have to.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying it terrifies me.
You know,
Puppets
bad.
is not my jam, dude. I'll take music any day.
sure. Yeah, I'm never going near music, so you know.
Yeah. I gotta learn puppet stuff though. It's always the most memorable stuff, you know, like animation is the stuff that I think people really respond to. Like, I don't know, in terms of like our game, you know, like just how weird everyone. It's not just like the sculpting of like the weird faces, but it's like how Brimley moves and stuff. People always, you know, seem to call out and go like, that was really fun. But I don't know, most of the time we also do this thing where it's like when it breaks, like with these fuckers with their heads. We go into breaks, we're like, leave it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because we love how it We love how it just looks shitty.
I kind of want to
Like the at the end with Mark II, his jaw like dislodges when it says vote.
Oh yeah, that wasn't on purpose.
That was not intended, and then it happened, and then it became intentional.
Hey,
Uh,
hey, Michael.
Oh, Michael. I can't hear him yet.
Okay. I'm showing the interior of my cat so people know, because it's made up of different shapes. These are all just sculpted shapes that are together with these connectors. So you have to kind of put it together. You have to figure out its bones. You make its bones.
Piece of crap. You're now in mine. I missed your note, piece of crap. Thanks.
What?
For joining. Yeah. Music is easy to me, but there's so many aspects about this. I love doing all the disciplines, and we have Swam. Swam is here now, right?
Yo. Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
I have nothing to add. I just am here.
We're just going over the guts.
Oh, yeah,
we're
I've been
just showing
watching.
off the guts.
I find it impossible to comment on Twitch because I have to download Authy and have Abe text me something, so I just haven't been commenting.
Oh, I see, because I'm logged in as 1UPS right now. Yeah.
But I've been watching. Brendan had a good run.
Brendan did have a good run. I liked how he approached everything with the same kind of like even keel.
Yeah.
Like he was just like
Right? It's very Brendan-esque.
very
Yeah,
Brendan-esque.
it was very Brendan.
Like in real life, that's how he would have solved that problem.
Just one foot
alright.
in front of the other.
Oh, Brimley's gone insane? Alright, let's take care of that then.
Okay. Well, maybe that's it. Like you're not phased at all by what you just saw. Nothing. Just nothing.
Well, I just figure I should do whatever's next, you know?
My favorite was like, okay, so I guess either I'm the daughter or he's the daughter. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, like
He can accept any reality on a dime.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess we're just going to do this now.
Yeah. Fucking loved it. Yeah, we use variables wrong, I've noticed. I know there's a
We
simpler
never
way
really
to do
needed
stuff.
variables.
I don't care about doing it like the most efficient way. I just care about it working. Oh, and we forgot to show off our books. Here's some books.
Oh yeah, our books.
Here's some books. They're like they're out here.
Why are they out there?
Oh, I know
they're
why.
They're like ghost books. They're like
Why?
ghost books. They appeared one day out in the middle. Like I was like working on something. You know, I was probably like working on this or something like that. And I
Oh, you're
looked
also
up
in
and I
part
was
3.
like, what the fuck is those books? And then I went over these books and I was like, why are these books here? And
They're
they're
lucky
huge.
books.
So we kept them because they immediately, when you start playing the game, they just fall for a very long time and then delete. So those are our books.
The game's really the tragedy of the books, doomed
Yep.
from the outset.
Yeah, truly.
Abe, you can see the new AI, by the way, I think, in part 3. I just realized why I couldn't find it
The new-
before. There's slightly new AI rules. If you look in the map and the Brimley
Did you
the
add-
map, I added a second map that tells it
Oh, it's
where
the player.
you are, where the player
Yeah,
is.
it's looking for the player.
And so he just runs to a designated area if you go too far forward.
Got it.
That's all it is
Clever.
now. Yeah. So that.
Came to you in a dream, right?
What?
Came to you in
Came
a
to you in
dream.
a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Came to all of us in a dream.
Came to me in a
Mhm.
dream. It did.
Wow.
It legit. Yeah.
Wow.
Like a genius. Like a genius.
Wow.
It's like that's the left of Destiny.
Uh huh.
Oh yeah, I
Holy
forgot
shit.
that's the name of it.
Oh, damn.
Dang, dude.
Clever
That's
shit.
next
Some
level,
clever
dude.
shit.
Dude. Cody,
clever
that
shit.
comment was
Yeah?
was tight.
Some tight comments I give.
Yeah, that was some tight comments.
Mm.
I like giving tight comments about titles and stuff.
Oh, fuck, dude. You are the best at that.
I like that's what it means.
You playing Minecraft?
Nah, I'm watching Dave move around the wireless routers.
Oh, yeah. He's really working on the AI. That's his... It's mostly his baby. The phone? The phone? It's the phone?
Hmm.
The phone
Oh.
menu.
This fucking AI.
Yeah. This is where. Oh no, that's the. Where's the sounds of the Where's
What?
that? Where's the sounds of the voicemails?
Because it's part 3 and the puppet's in a weird place. Look near the entrance.
Oh.
Yeah, all these windows are linked to specific objects. I guess we should have explained that at some point. Like these things floating in the air. If you look at the light coming out of it, see this is a microchip. And that microchip, if I close it, it's just sitting here with all these wires out of it. And then when you open it, it gives you all this bullshit. Where did it go? Oh, why? Are you over
Wait,
here?
you put it on. It's on the player puppet.
It's
right?
on the player puppet, yeah.
Where the
and so-
fuck is that?
This is all the.
It's OPP.
Mm,
The OPP? I can't even find it, man.
it's
It's all your domain. I keep seeing Brimley's logics.
It's over here. If you look near the entrance, like when the snowman chase you, and
Uh-huh.
if the game is starting over, like if you're at rewound, you can see this random fucking piece sticking out that is here because it was originally somewhere else, and then we moved the puppet. It's objects and then phone.
Huh.
I'm gripping it right now. I moved it into something.
Oh, found it.
Recognize it. Yeah. And then you can see all the messages, such as
There it is.
cake guy.
Yeah, so these are our friends.
Hello, yes, this is Bugles Jewel from Bugles Frugal Strudels. Just calling once again about the 120 kilo you listed the first little body cakes.
Here's
Made it.
Katie.
See, this is the bug people were encountering, by the way, is that the
What?
reason people kept letting go and Brimley would kept attacking is because Brimley's behavior is based off did the message completely play,
Mm-hmm.
and so the time code had to get to
it's
the
on
end.
end trigger.
But
Should
what
he
I
have done play it
noticed,
position?
yeah, what I noticed is that his speech bubbles happen based off a playhead position, which is slightly earlier.
Yeah.
And so people would see the speech bubble let go, and then the message hasn't completed.
Wait, what? Oh.
And that's why he kept attacking after
God,
the
these
fact.
Wires.
So if you keep it held down,
Look at that fucking. You are a monster, dude.
what?
I forgot to look at this because it's invisible most of the time. Look at your fucking the Brimley's player microchip is like huge.
Isn't it fucking
It's
terrible?
enormous. We were so bad at this.
The
Look at all
problem.
this
All
stuff.
right. I could have made this cleaner with
Oh, really?
I could have made it cleaner with wireless
Look at
receivers.
But it wouldn't have been as full.
Exactly.
Look at that. Look at
See, when you
that.
close it all, you see all the wires coming out.
Look at that. That is so ridiculous, dude.
Because these are all the wires. They're all the places that
They're
you could
all
be.
necessary. It breaks
Yep.
without all of these, but
all
it's
the
just
wires are
hilarious to look at.
necessary.
There's gotta be a maximum number of ports. You
I
gotta
haven't
do.
found it yet.
Yeah, you're really pushing the envelope, dude. You're a pioneer.
That's
I
all
love
going
it.
into this
That is a
microchip.
chunky motherfucker.
And
And
then
inside
this
it is
microchip
even more. Yeah.
is
Oh,
here.
that's why. That's why, because they're
It's a
so all.
thick, greasy slab of logic.
Yeah.
It's a
So you can
slab.
see, all the ports going in on this
That
end.
makes me laugh. Jesus.
They're going into these
Oh,
microchips.
that's why.
And again, this big selector. Well, it's not that
That's
big.
the AI. That's the AI, basically.
Yeah, this is Brimley's brain.
a big long shaft.
He needs a lot of data, and he's gonna need more if we want to perfect him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's still we need to figure out how to make it.
You're gonna
Because
feed
people-
Brimley more data? You're Playing
Oh, yeah.
right into his
You're
hand.
playing right into his hand.
We're gonna make him so
He's
smart.
the
Give that to
monster.
Brimley.
We have to figure out how to make it so that people don't instinctively let go at the wrong time,
Mm-hmm.
or we have to make it so that Brimley reacts quicker.
Could it just be a toggle that you press the button and then the whole message plays?
We could do it that way. Is that you just press it and it plays the message full through. We liked the option though of being able to hold
It's
it
more
down.
realistic. It feels
Yeah.
more. It feels more whatever you say, cathartic,
To hold
kinetically.
it down.
Yeah, you're more active in the game.
Yeah.
It's more of an interactive element.
Get to the
Tactile.
game.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say.
So I was
You
asking
can
what
maybe
this
make
is.
the wording more clear.
Yeah, we were thinking of making a little like mini freeze frame where it says this is what you have to do before we get to that point.
Yeah, that I think we'll just freeze and treat it like a mini game.
But there's
Who,
also
Hooah!
Who did everyone else choose as the first message?
Everyone was. I didn't actually follow for that. 'Cause
Most people-
I was just like more focused on like, are they choosing the right ones? That I don't know who they chose.
yeah, that's an interesting
a lot of people
detail.
play wife.
I noticed the few that I saw at the end of Michael's and Brandon's, and they both chose wife.
Shows wife. Yeah, I noticed that today.
That's a detail I feel like it's an oversight on our part. We don't give any hints as to what the first message should be.
Yeah, we're really
Nope.
obscure.
Well, you do, but the hints point to it being the mother's message because it's about the daughter.
Right.
Like Brendan, what
Yeah,
Brendan
Brendan-
was
It's not
the
saying out
laser,
loud.
Cody.
He
It's the
spoke out.
laser.
It's the laser. He said out loud basically like my thought process as well.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah.
So yeah, an extra like a mom hint would be helpful, I think.
There's an onion reference in here. By the way.
What was the gorgeous son thing I missed?
Brimley at the very end says, "My gorgeous son."
Oh, okay. Just
to
yeah. Because
your
he
puppet.
considers himself the father of all the meat puppets.
Yeah, and I was just like that wording. I chose
Nice.
very specific. But yeah, I like my favorite part is building like the combo locks and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
the logic
pieces of puzzle logic, like literally where you're making the logic of puzzles, is the most fun. Like I'm a little bored now of making menus.
That's
You
what
know,
I was
like, a
saying. That's
computer
why.
is like,
That's why
It's
the
fine.
fucking puppets are fun, because puppets is logic. You're programming a robot basically to respond to different button presses.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There was a day a couple weeks ago where we were just swirling around, like just both looking at our,
This
and
fucking
just
nightmare.
like, what is this fucking?
Here's a fun
It
detail.
looks like a city of. It's ugly as
Yeah.
fuck.
Here's the emergency exit blown up.
I don't know why that's so long.
Oh, this is a fun thing. I never thought to show. Yeah, see, it swaps with the emergency exit. One of my favorite things that we did a long time ago is the exploding wall. Totally forgot
Oh,
about the exploding
yeah.
wall. Let's see if I can find it. Because it's so far back.
The old Swapadoo.
The old Swapadoo, yeah,
Also-
it swaps with a wall, a second wall in that animation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
We pull a fast one on all of you.
Here it is, wall blow.
I wish I sculpted things better, because when we started, we didn't know how big this game was gonna be, and so when we made the concrete, it looks really. We could have thought about we had to take out a wall, and we probably should have
Yeah.
redid it so it looked better. But
You
we
can
don't
see all
really
the
care.
pieces there.
This game is not supposed to be the most visually pleasing thing on Dreams. That's not what we do here.
Yeah.
We'll get better, but I
Um,
mean, it's not why we're interested. So.
How do I blow this thing? I forgot how to blow this wall. Do I just press try? Oh, that's the light. That's the light sequence.
I also started to work on a high five at the end after you blow up the wall.
Oh,
You
yeah.
high five the
There's the
robot.
force supply.
And I started doing it, and then after I did it, I was just, no, I don't need to do that Easter egg. But then now Brendan, being
He
the
brought it
last
up,
I
yeah.
don't want to
Yeah, he's
high
like,
five it, right?
he's like, I'm gonna go over that to the robot and see what's up. And I'm like, God damn it! That means now I have to finish making the. It's not that hard. I just fucked up like on the keyframes, and I'm so bad at it. And I was just like, I don't want to go back and redo all the work I already did because I'm lazy as shit.
Ugh.
God, look at this
How do
nonsense.
I blow this wall?
Look at that
Is it
nonsense. Freaking maniac.
I forget how to blow this wall.
Blow that wall.
Yeah,
Dude,
I'm
stop
trying to-
talking about it. Suck this wall's dick already.
Blow it.
Yeah.
Do it.
How do I blow this wall? Oh,
You know.
okay, it's on this
Just do
end.
it.
Just
And I
choke
have
the
to-
wall
Jerking
down,
us
Dave.
around.
I'm
Choke
trying.
that wall down.
Alright, I have to press X
What are you doing?
at this corner. Okay, got it.
Do you and the wall know each other that well? Like, is
You're
there,
gonna know somebody to
is
choke
there
the wall
anything
down.
there?
Let me try to blow this wall. Are you gonna blow?
Blow the wall.
Fuck's sake.
That's all the shit that Dave did. Dave did all the wall blowing.
Mm.
And he also did the he did the animation of Fundan.
Oh, I have to hold it down. There it goes.
Fundan standing up and coming after you.
Oh yeah. Who did that cutscene of the robot smash through the glass again?
That's also Dave.
Oof.
It's like the best
Standout
thing.
moment. Yeah.
It really is cool looking.
Yeah, that was really fun.
All the
I
way
get-
down to sound design, it's really cool.
Yeah.
That is a timeline that has nothing in it.
I'm sure it means something.
No. I remember what it was. I grabbed it and put it in a different timeline. And that is basically how the jail recall happens. I just changed the variable and just now you're further along in the dream. That's how we kind of did save states, is we just use variables. And then we had like a recall computer that would put everything in its right place. I'm sure there's a better way.
Oh, so it's like if the variable is to move everything to this
Yeah,
position.
and it's simpler than you think. It's almost entirely in this one right here, this chip. Like
Mhm.
it says, like, did you eat the first this sandwich? Did you eat it? Well, if you did, turn on the visual and turn off the logic. If you didn't eat it, you go about your day the same as always, you know. And the same thing for a robot being standing up and the slides. But the slides mechanism is actually broken right now because at the last moment we decided to split in 3 parts instead of 2 parts, and that broke our system because it was kind of like a one. This whole machine that recalls the slides is basically a one shot because we turn off. It has to turn itself off in order to do it. So we have to think of a new way to like not turn it off so that it can constantly be updated. It's hard to explain, but ultimately it's just like by design of how we did it. It's kind of broken right now, but it does do the job technically for most of the way. Just that's why a few of you guys, when you were playing through, sometimes the slides would be gone. Like you put up a slide in a particular part of the dream, and then you die, and then when you came back, it was like different. It's because this system was kind of broken, but other parts it would work. So.
Yeah.
And we just decided not to solve it because it's like, you just walk over and put it back in there. Real lazy.
Yeah. Showing the opening credits, the simplest thing.
So many lights. Oh, the opening credits is pretty cool.
Nice and simple.
Nice and simple.
Now, Dave, when are we getting a special remastered edition of Strike Force?
God, yeah.
Oh my god.
One of these days.
You gotta pop that on.
Yeah. Gotta get special edition of that. That piece of crap. What a piece of shit.
Oh,
old
that's
news.
That's another example of something that's annoying is they don't have like little shitty things that like Photoshop would have. Obviously Dreams isn't going to have all of the things. So in order to make, because when we started playing, people would be like, in this bookcase, let's call it bookcase 3, we wanted to highlight bookcase 3 in order for it to pop so that the player would be like, okay, that seems important. I just basically I typed out bookcase 3 again and put it on top of it. Like there's no way to like highlight a piece of text or like, change a font inside a layer. So it's like it's real dumb. You have to do little things to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a computer. It's as smart as you are, and I'm not smart, so I just solve it. Just ram it right in there.
Look in and then ram it.
Yeah,
Just
you gotta
look in
look in.
first. Everybody
Look in,
make
ram
sure
in.
to look in.
Ram
Are you
in
guys
and
looking in right now? You guys looking in?
All the time.
Good, dude.
Every chance
Now-
I get.
Now, ram it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm taking Maggie outside. If you guys are still here, I'll be back. Otherwise, I think Brendan's on Minecraft. I'll see you there.
Cool.
Alright.
I mean, I got nothing else.
Yeah, I'm just showing like the ice cave and just the
That was fun.
areas.
Yeah, that was really cool.
We're gonna do, I think, something a little simpler next time, where it's not like a puzzle game, so it doesn't have to have like a story as much. Like you just having a fun interaction, and there's some jokes that happen along the way.
Yeah.
We're thinking about Crazy Taxi. Doing a Crazy Taxi game.
Yeah, I'd love to do
Just gonna
Crazy
remake
Taxi.
Crazy Taxi.
Well, I thought it could be like a film noir with Crazy Taxi, where like you know how like Knight Rider, Kit, like were a unit. You know, they worked together and they like loved each other and had a rapport. Like no one ever talks about Crazy Taxi in that way, but I bet the driver in Crazy Taxi had a similar rapport. And then what happens if one of them dies? Like, is that going to change their life?
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Who can
Like,
say?
is that are
Probably.
they ever going to come? Are they ever going to recover from that? You know? Is Crazy Taxi gonna, like, have to start seeking therapy and won't make friends anymore and
Yeah, it's a
life
lot of
falls
questions.
apart.
It's a
Maybe
lot
the
of
Crazy
questions.
Taxi meets Kit.
Yeah.
They gain a relationship or something.
Ooh, yeah, maybe.
Gets him to turn his life around, but it's just using him for a bunch of money.
Yeah, exactly. All the
Could be
best
it.
parts of the original Crazy Taxi game. So we're
Crazy
thinking about
Taxi's
some.
partner was murdered.
Yeah, Crazy Taxi Party. Yeah, it's So that's probably our next game. No, I don't know. We don't fucking know. We're gonna take a break and then think about something else.
If you guys
Yeah.
make a Crazy Taxi game in which Crazy Taxi's partner is murdered and Crazy Taxi vows vengeance.
Yeah.
It seems like
Yeah,
something for us.
Yeah, it seems. I want you to finish the thought. You were about to say that's really good, right?
Then
Yeah,
I'll
it's excellent.
play it.
I will play that forever. Yes, obviously.
Oh, okay, cool. Then it seems like what was the other ones we were talking about? I don't know.
Yeah, who can say?
I was thinking of making a game where you're a shoe.
Really?
That's like where but that's where my idea stopped. So it wasn't a good idea.
That checks out.
I just had a idea of like you just rolling around as a shoe.
Sure.
That's it. You know?
Your fucking shoe.
Yeah, and other shoes. Well, I don't want to get into the lore. It's very dense.
Right.
So I want to wait. I want it to be perfect before I reveal it. Yeah, call it Soul. I think that's a wrap for me, right? I got nothing
Yeah.
else.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
being more on
I think I'm just like playing the poo game now. Our pieces.
Oh, you're playing the poo game?
I'm playing
Ooh.
only the parts I like. I'm not playing the game full through. I'm just seeing.
Thanks.
I'm trying to remember if this was any good. It's definitely got some problems.
Yeah. That was a fun day, though. Good
Yeah.
lord.
Good
Got
lord.
2 more people playing our game because we're friends and we forced them to play.
Yeah, and they were nice
And-
enough to do it.
Like little cherubs.
Delightful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a wonderful game.
Thank you. That's it for the stream, though. So, plenty of
Alright.
hours.
Yeah. All right.
Love you.
I didn't even realize you were still streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
All right, stream.
Yeah, I was just saying, hey.
Take it easy, guys. I forget how to stop streaming. Broadcasting stop. Bye, everybody.